Welcome to the Delhi Board of Trustees meeting, February 28, 2018. As is tradition, we will be opening the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Tonight's moment of silence is for all of those people who are caught in the wake of our flooding recently and the people that will be helping them to put their lives back together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much. All right, approval of the minutes, Mr. Luby.
Motion 2018-031, approve the minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting held on February 14th, 2018, and dispense with the reading.
I move motion 2018-031.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Okay, approved.
Motion 2018-032, approve bills for payment.
I move motion 2018-032.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, approved.
Motion 2018-033, approve the payment of overtime for pay period ending February 13th, 2018.
I move motion 2018-033.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, approved. Report from the fiscal officer.
Resolution 2018-019, resolution approving purchase order obligations incurred on behalf of the Township by the Township Administrator, authorizing payment of certain purchase order obligations and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense the second reading of the resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Libby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
As far as our significant transactions since the last meeting, our 222 payroll was $262,000. We did have a payment to Omega Title for the purchase of the Neeb Road house right behind the senior center for $50,389. On 216, we had a real estate tax advance for $5,610,000. On 221, we received $44,000 from the local government fund and the gas tax. And on 228, we received $46,000 in franchise fees.
All right, thank you. Okay, we have some appointments tonight. Mr. Luby?
Motion 2018-034, approve the appointment of Travis Kerr to the Financial Advisory Board, effective February 28th, 2018.
I move motion 2018-034.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Welcome aboard, Travis. We're very excited about you being on there, and you'll be a great asset.
Motion 2018-035, approve the appointment of Jared Smith to the Financial Advisory Board, effective February 28th, 2018.
I move motion 2018-035.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Mr. Luby, does that make us at a full complement now?
Yes, it does. We have 7 members now.
Wonderful, thank you. A good mix of people and backgrounds. So good, thank you for that. Okay, trustee correspondence. Trustee Seavey.
Just like to congratulate the Parks Department again on a wonderful event with their 80 Days Around the World with Beer. And thanks to everyone who supported the event.
All right, thank you, Trustee.
Good job,
Davis.
Josh.
Yeah, thank you.
None at this moment. Thank you.
Okay, and I have nothing at this time, so thank you. All right, public hearing, Public Works.
Motion 2018-036, approve the continuance of the public hearing for 2018 construction, repair, and maintenance of sidewalks, curbs, and gutters along various township streets.
I move motion 2018-036.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Mr. Rippinger, do you have any words of wisdom for us?
As you said, this was just a continuance from the last meeting. We had a handful of people show up, and we were able to answer the questions. We met with a few residents and received a few other phone calls since then. But as far as I know, nobody showed up at this hearing.
Is anybody here for the hearing out there? Okay, thank you. All right, thank you.
Motion 2018-037, approve the closing of the public hearing for the 2018 construction, repair, and maintenance of sidewalks, curbs, and gutters along various township streets.
I move motion 2018-037.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Administration.
Resolution 2018-20, resolution authorizing and entering into a replacement medical center services agreement with St. Elizabeth Medical Center, DBA St. Elizabeth Healthcare, Summit Medical Group, Inc., DBA St. Elizabeth Physicians, and Custom Design Benefits in replacement of the agreement authorized by Resolution 2017-240 in connection with the provision of certain self-insured group health benefits for eligible township employees and officers, authorizing the township administrator to execute and deliver all necessary documents, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
Second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Libby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2018-21, resolution updating and replacing the job descriptions for all Parks and Recreation Department employees, Article 12 positions descriptions of the Delhi Township amended and restated summary of policies dated January 1st, 2014, updating staffing levels and pay rates and dispensing with a second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Mr. Cameron?
Sure. I just wanted to make sure you understood exactly what we're doing here. Mr. Torbeck is up here if you had any questions. This started with the Parks Department and the listing of job positions they have and how many they have and the order they're in. So it wasn't adding positions or changing responsibilities of current people. It was straightening out what was there. And Mrs. Hermes, the HR manager, also worked on the job description, the format of each job description. So we're going to be doing this across the other job descriptions as well, so they're all uniform. So we didn't create anything new, we just straightened out what was already there.
So we reduced how many position or descriptions, because I know they were pretty strict.
Mostly it was seasonal. We had a specific title for almost every seasonal, so we just lumped it all into one seasonal position. So we basically got rid of 3 or 4 individual descriptions. Now it's just a seasonal worker description.
And they all do the same work.
Everybody's doing this kind of the same work anyway, so it didn't really make sense to separate them and
Right.
give them different titles when everybody's doing the same thing.
Okay, Trustee Seavey.
The head count remained the same.
Yes,
Okay.
we didn't add or take away.
Okay, a lot of work. I mean, it looked like a lot of work went into this.
It did. Yeah.
More than we thought it would. Yes.
Melanie did most of the work.
Okay, good. Well, we'll have to thank her when we see her. Thank you for that. Okay,
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
Second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolution.
all those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Libby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Motion 2018-38, approve the proclamation in recognition of the City of Cheviot's bicentennial and declaring March 21st, 2018 as the City of Cheviot Bicentennial Day in Delhi Township.
I move motion 2018-038.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes. Happy anniversary, Cheviot. Okay, Parks and Recreation.
Resolution 2018-22, resolution authorizing an agreement with Taylor Schroeder to operate a farmer's market at Delhi Park and Clearview Lake, authorizing the Parks and Recreation Director to execute the agreement and dispensing with a second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Torbeck?
Just 2 items of note. It's the same as last year. We plan on having everybody back and hopefully a few more vendors. The only 2 changes here are the time. Last year was 9:30 to 1:30. We made it earlier, 9 to noon. We just, during those hot summer days, around 1:30, people weren't coming out. It was a little too hot. So we ended about lunchtime. And then it's going to be every other Saturday starting the end of May. Feedback we got from vendors and stuff, it just gives them a little bit more time to recoup and have more product and have quality products. So they asked if we could have a little bit more time in between the two, so we listened to them on that.
Okay, beginning when?
May 26th,
May 26th.
and goes through the end of September.
All right. So you said you're adding a couple more. So with that, I mean, have you thought about expanding it further into the parking lot and asking them to park over in the lodge or anything, or we're still just taking baby steps to this thing?
Well, we're still recruiting vendors. We have a lot returning from last year, but we're still in the process of recruiting. So I don't have a final number yet.
Okay.
We have an idea of about how many we can hold over at Clearview. If we start to exceed that, then we'll have to explore probably a new location. But I don't think we'll exceed that this year. Last year we had high 20s. We can approach somewhere in the mid 30s with the amount of vendors. So we still have some space.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. We're very excited.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
Second the motion to dispense.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
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 Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Motion 2018-039, approve the hiring of Michael A. Sexton as seasonal Parks and Recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $10 per hour, effective March 12th, 2018.
I move motion 2018-039.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
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 Motion passes.
Motion 2018-40, approve the hiring of David A. Hay as seasonal Parks and Recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $9.27 per hour, effective March 19th, 2018.
I move motion 2018-040.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2018-41, approve the hiring of Wyatt A. Griner as seasonal Parks and Recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $9 per hour and successful completion of the pre-employment drug testing and background check, effective March 19th, 2018.
I move motion 2018-041.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2018-042, approve the hiring of Daryl M. Williamson as event custodian in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $10 per hour and successful completion of the pre-employment drug testing, background check, and voice stress analyzer, effective March 26, 2018.
I move motion 2018-042.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2018-043, approve the hiring of Eric T. West as seasonal Parks and Recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $9.27 per hour, effective March 19th, 2018.
I move motion 2018-043.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Torbeck. Thank you. All right. Fire
Can I ask a
department.
quick question? I'm sorry. What's the difference on there? And I know on the other for the event custodian for the parks, and we're going to put them through the background check and a voice stress analyzer. But yet on the other seasonal park employee but we're not. I don't see that. Is that standard that we're doing that for all employees, or why just for one, not the other? I'm just curious.
The event custodian is a year-round part-time position. So we decided with all part-time, they'll go through that. The seasonals are just with us
Okay.
a couple months throughout the year, so they
Thank-
don't have to
okay.
go through that background.
Thanks. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Okay. Fire department.
Resolution 2018-023, resolution entering into agreements with Tyco Integrated Security, LLC for fire station building access security systems and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll third. I second the adoption of the resolution.
Just reading the book. Any discussion on this resolution?
Thank you, trustees. This is just a simple agreement. The high cost of repair and maintenance of the security system allows us to get them in at a cheaper price to replace items that break down. We have this equipment at all 3 fire facilities.
Okay.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
Second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Libby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Motion 2018-044, approve the hiring of Christopher W. Gundrum as career firefighter paramedic in the fire department at the rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the local 3389 IAFF, effective March 14th, 2018.
I move motion 2018-044.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes. Did you have any discussion on this, Chief?
This is a fantastic hire. This is exactly what the board's looking for. It's Delhi born and raised. He's gone through our Explorer program, through our part-time program. He's been with us about 6 years. We just knocked it out of the park, so we get 25 years out of him full-time. We'll be doing good.
Good job.
Motion 2018-045, accept the resignation of part-time firefighter paramedic William J. Grove II, effective March 7, 2018.
I move motion 2018-045.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes. Okay. Thank you, Chief. All right, Public Works.
Motion 2018-046, directing notice to abutting property owners by mail and publication of the hearing on the sidewalk assessments to be held on March 28, 2018 at 6 p.m. at the Delhi Administration Building.
I move motion 2018-046.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes.
Resolution 2018-024, resolution declaring necessity and ordering the construction, repair, and maintenance of sidewalks and driveway aprons along various township streets without petition in connection with the Delhi Township Street Rehabilitation and Repair Project 2018-A, establishing tentative assessment estimates against abutting property owners pursuant to revised code 5543.10 and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Ripperger?
Thank you, trustees. This resolution is in conjunction with the hearing we just closed, and it just allows us to move forward with the sidewalk and apron repairs with our road project.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2018-025, resolution of necessity for the Delhi Township Street Rehabilitation and Repair Project 2018-A and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Ripperger?
This resolution just allows us to move forward with the repairs of the roadway.
Same thing.
Yes.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
Second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2018-026, resolution authorizing the placement of advertisements for bids for the Delhi Township Street Rehabilitation and Repair Project, number 2018-A, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
This allows us to put it out for bids with the roads we have listed there, but hopefully we can get a good handful of contractors to put in.
All right, thank you.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
Second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2018-027, resolution authorizing execution and submission of the 2017 Township Highway System Mileage Certification and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Ripperger?
This is something we do every year that the state sends out, and the actual mileage is 55 miles. So,
Okay.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes. Thank you very much. All right, moving on to police.
Motion 2018-047, approve the hiring of Julia C. Grace as police clerk in the police department at $21 per hour upon successful completion of the background check, drug screen, and voice stress analyzer.
I move motion 2018-047.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Chief Howard, have
Yeah.
anything to say?
Yeah, thanks, Board of Trustees. Do you have any questions about her prior to me going on? I was going to mention schools.
Go ahead.
Okay, is this where you want me to
Okay.
mention it?
Now, do you have any questions about our new hire?
New hire?
We're good with it? You obviously made a good choice. I know you
Thank
had a lot of applicants.
Yes, we had 127, I believe.
Right.
That's
okay.
great.
So anxious to meet her.
Thank you. I just wanted to, in wake of what happened on February 14th down in Florida, I just wanted to kind of talk about our schools, give you a little breakdown. As far as working with Oak Hills Local School District, St. Dominic, and Victory, we have a great working relationship with them. As you're all aware, last week we had an incident at Delhi Middle School. Thankfully, nothing came of it. Post went out on Instagram, a threat to the school, about 11:59 p.m. Jeff Brandt had called me, superintendent, by about 12:15. And by 4 o'clock in the morning, the individual was in custody. So we brought 3 people in. We take all the threats serious. We brought them in and had her in custody in a short amount of time with a lot of cooperation amongst a lot of different people. Since then, we've had 2 other cases that have happened. One was an arrest that's happened since that one in Delhi Junior High, involved Rapid Run Middle School. School or no students were an immediate threat or anything like that, but the individual was arrested. And the third one was kind of a rumor word through here. We still tracked down everything, covered all bases, and that was unfounded, those 3. So that's kind of how we stand right there. I just want to ensure you we're doing everything possible. I meet with school board or with the superintendent on a regular basis. Just this past week, I met Chief Vetter from Green Township, met with all the principals, superintendents, and administration of the school board, going over our plans that are already in place. There's a lot of plans already in place, going over them. How can we make them better? Things that superintendents taken to the school board to see how far they want to take some things. So really everything's on the table right now as far as the security. But as far as from the police department standpoint, for instance, since August 15th or 18th when the school started, last year, there's 130 possible school days. I don't know, it's less than 130 because I don't know how many school days Oak Hills has had, but we've done 427 school walks in those 130 days. And that's just not getting called there or anything. The officers just walking into the schools. And that is something that we started Sandy Hook, ever since Sandy Hook. So that's ongoing. We're stepping that up even more now. So you'll see that. We're also branching off into the northern schools in Oak Hills Local School District with Springmire, St. Antoninus right across Cleves, Warsaw, Delhi Junior High, Oak Hills, and we've even tagged on with Three Rivers Middle School where the officers went down there, know the layout of the building down there also in the event something happens. So the only thing I can really urge parents, if they're listening, is the Delhi Middle School one was, after investigating, I don't think there was ever a threat. I'm safe in saying that to the school or any of the students that this would have occurred. But it just goes to show the parents and we as police officers and the SRO who's in all the schools is going to take the extra effort to educate the kids that if they make that mistake thinking it's fun, sitting around with their friends, let's do this, it can have consequences that could be hanging around with you for the rest of your life. So they really need to be educated, I think, and realize what they're doing is not fun. It's not funny. And we're going to take it all serious. We can't decide what's serious and what's not, so we're going to take it all serious. In Oak Hills Local School District, and I'm sure the other 2 schools in the township have the same feeling. There's not going to be any tolerance for anything like this. So I can't tell you our officers are equipped. As far as the gear they need to go in, we won't stay outside. We will enter, even if it's one person to the school first. We're going in, and they're equipped to do that, both with firearms and the needed equipment as far as flak jackets and everything else. So something we hope we never see, but we're prepared, and it's hard to say we could ever prevent it if it's going to happen, but we can at least be prepared to minimize casualties and so forth. So any questions I can answer for you? Or
How are the body cams working? I mean, it's a different subject, but when we're done with this.
No, they're working well. I mean, it's still relatively new, so we're still working out kinks and stuff, but well received. The officers love them, have no problem wearing them, have heard nothing from the public but good things. They're glad we have them, and I think it's a good thing. I mean, we've been dealing with it since the in-car cameras for a long time, so going well. Thanks for allowing us to have them.
You're welcome. Trustee Seavey.
I think the most important thing, Chief, that you have told us here publicly, that we don't take any of this lightly. And if you're a parent or a student and you think this is fun, it's not, and you will be arrested, and there are consequences to be done. And I know, being active over in the Oak Hill School District, everyone supports you and applauds the job that Delhi Police did on that Delhi Middle School event. So, tough subject, I know, but they were certainly very, very pleased with the efficiency that the Delhi Police offered.
Thank you.
Trustee Davis.
Yeah, we had spending years in education at Ignatius and Macaulay High School, we would have different career days. And one of the ones we had, the prosecutors came in and addressed the whole school. And one of the things that stood out in my mind, and I hope those that are watching and can understand this, there's no such thing when it comes to the media, your phones, computers, as delete. There is no such thing. You might delete it from that, but there are always ways to go back and get it. So to think, well, I'm just going to send this and I'll delete it real fast. Snapchat, sending pictures, all of it. People need to know that. It's like, think, before you take that action. And so it's a lesson learned. And obviously these situations, and of course, the more you see it in the media, maybe it puts a thought in other people's minds. And it's unfortunate and it's sad, but even better that if we say, especially in Delhi, it won't be tolerated and will be acted on immediately. So thank you, and that's great to hear. Within 4 hours, there was an arrest.
I appreciate it.
I do have a question. I know some schools are on total lockdown, that there's a procedure that they can get into the building. I don't want to give it away to anybody who wants to act crazy and come in, but I know Dominic, you cannot get in that building unless you sit there and they look at you, and they gain access. Mm-hmm. Is that a practice throughout most of our?
Yeah, and actually, it is amongst those two schools, plus the Oak Hills Local School District is by fingerprint, or they have to buzz you in. All of our officers on day shift, second shift actually are in the database, that if there's not somebody sitting at that table to let you in and buzz you through when you go to the door when you're called upon, they can go in with their fingerprint.
Okay. So we're covered in this territory. Okay. Do you have another question, Trustee C? All right. Thank you for everything that you guys do.
Thank you.
And ladies. Excuse me. Okay. Community development.
Resolution 2018-028, resolution extending the moratorium. Resolution 2017-073 for 6 months on the approval, issuance, and/or processing of any permits allowing the construction, installation, and/or modification of facilities pertaining to mini cell towers within the rights-of-ways and residential areas of Delhi Township, Ohio, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Mr. DeLong.
Sure. Basically, I want to bring Mr. Davis up to speed on what's going on. Mini cell towers are becoming kind of a new trend. Besides the old big tall towers you see around everywhere, what they're doing is they're starting to line public right-of-ways with these things. Some of these towers are up to 120 feet in height. It's become a challenge for cities, townships, everyone, municipalities throughout the state of Ohio. Right now, we are under a moratorium until March 8th, so that's coming up to expire. So this will extend us for another 6 months. Basically, the townships here in Hamilton County are working together to try to partner with Hamilton County Engineering to come up with a plan on how to handle these things throughout the entire county. So we're not alone. Anderson Township's going through the same thing. Springfield Township, everyone's going through it. So we're basically putting a stop on them until we can get some idea of the direction the township or the county engineer is going to go with dealing with county roads. So we're consistent with our township streets the same way. So that's kind of where we are right now with it. So we're just going to do a 6-month extension. We may have to do another one in another 6 months, but that's where we are right now with it.
Great.
Any questions?
Thank you. Yeah, and that's a deja vu because years ago we went through this. You remember? It was like, so this is good.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with second reading? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Libby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2018-029, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 943 Country Ridge Lane and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. DeLong?
Yeah, as you can see based on the photos, there's accumulated debris at 943 Country Ridge Lane. We have partnered with Hamilton County Health Department on this one due to some of the items that were outside. So when I did my inspection this morning, many of the items were cleaned up and properly put in containers, but there's still some debris on the property, so we are going to request that you do declare it a nuisance so we can get the property abated.
I move to dispense with the second reading of the resolution.
Second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Libby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2018-030, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 327 Glenroy Avenue and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. DeLong?
Well, we probably should have called the health department on this one, looking at those photos. But as you can see, there is a lot of accumulated debris. It's primarily in the driveway. It does have one of those lower level garages on the home, and that seems to be where all of the items have been discarded. So it was in that same condition as you see in the photos as of this morning. So we do request you declare it a nuisance.
Is that occupied?
We're not sure. It's been looking the same way for a few weeks. So there is furniture that you can see through the front window from the street, but I don't know at this point. Doesn't look like there's been any activity there. So
Yeah.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
Second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Libby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution passes. Okay, I don't have any forms for citizen comments for tonight, so we can move on to the announcement of community events.
The Delhi Historical Society program, The History of Old St. Joseph Cemetery, will be Monday, March 12th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. It will be at the Delhi Park Lodge at 5125 Foley Road. The Delhi Township Veterans Association General Meeting will be Tuesday, March 13th from 7:30 to 8:30 at the Delhi Senior Community Center at 647 Neeb Road. The Delhi Business Association Easter Egg Hunt will be Saturday, March 24th at 10 a.m. It will be at the Delhi Park at 5125 Foley Road.
Okay, there is no need to have executive session tonight.
With no further business to be brought before this board, I move we adjourn.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much for coming. Our next trustee meeting is Wednesday, March 14th at 6 p.m. I believe that Happy St. Patrick's Day happens between now and then. Be careful.
St. Patrick's Day is the 17th.
Is that when they're celebrating that?
You're asking on O'Leary when
Oh,
that
sorry.
is St. Patrick's
I'm
Day?
off. Okay. I'm early. Sorry.